Good afternoon. Brian Smith here with PureSmith Golf doing an evaluation on one of our students here. A couple of things. I know there's a few lines and circles on this video analysis, but keep in mind I'm going to walk you through it. So this particular student of mine, Brendan, is working pretty hard on his let's just say that he's working hard on his wedges. That's going to build the foundation for a better golf swing fundamentally for his longer swings as well. So even though we have a finesse swing here, synchronization wise, but I do want you to understand that the one on the right was his first motion, and the one on the left was after about a couple hours of work. So oddly enough, he's essentially setting up the exact same way. There's a couple small changes, but they weren't drastic. So let's roll the tape. Yes, one's a little longer in the backswing than others. Look at the amount of hip turn on the right versus the left. But interesting enough, let's look at as the body comes down, look at the hips on the right explode or extremely ahead versus the hips barely moving on the left. And this was a synchronizing issue. So as in a power move, we would want those hips to kind of move first, and then maybe our chest cavity, then our arms and our hands, which we see pretty good over here on the right. And this is a perfect example, a perfect case of people playing golf, kids, doesn't matter what age you are, who think that the power swing, the swing that they feel is the same swing, it's just a shorter swing with their wedges, but it's not. The one on the left, you will see the downswing where the arms and hands start first. They come through the zone, then the hip comes after. So it's a hands, arms, chest, then hip synchronization versus a hip, chest, arms, hands synchronization, which is on the right. Interesting enough, he didn't lose any shaft lean. So let me go back to that. Watch this red line here. You can't see it, but actually underneath of the red angle, which says 30 on the left and 24 on the right, which happens to be the launch angle, he is actually at 80 degrees. So essentially 10 degrees shaft lean from the 90-degree position. So he has the exact amount of shaft lean, but we all know what happens or can happen with that right hip when it's turned in the way. We have hardly any room. So this is something that he does and he's working on. Next, watch the left elbow on the right hand side compared to the left hand side. Look at how the gap between the forearms is wider at this point on the right hand side than it is on the left hand side. That's where that red line is, just to show you that. You can see the excessive amount of hip turn on the right versus the left. And the final big thing that we're working on, apart from the synchronization piece, is on the right, you can see the head stays down, stays back, it stays almost like his right ear is attached to his right shoulder. You can see this kind of with the motion. The head goes back and holds, right? Well, we're trying to get that head to straighten out first, that neck, and then we're also trying to let it move with the shoulder axis. He still hasn't gotten this part down, but you see an improvement from this point. On the right, you can see the glasses on his hat still kind of pointing down, maybe a little bit to the left, but on the left, you can see it's pointed more like it's rotating. See that? So you can see that the one on the left, the head is coming up sooner. And look at the amount of gap between his right ear and his right shoulder. And you can't see it here at all. So there's definitely an improvement. Much better, Brendan, on that one. And that's what we're working on. I know there's a couple of pieces here, but first, just to kind of summarize, we're resynchronizing a finesse swing versus a power swing. We never lost any shaft lean. We have decent amount of shaft lean. So we're striking ball then the ground. Here's one of the reasons, or one of the ways we can prove that we have enough shaft lean is because we're launching the ball at anywhere from the good range of the tour players, not that it matters here, but 24 to 30 degrees of a launch angle with any of our wedges. We see that in all the studies done, all the TrackMan numbers. But the great thing here is the hips are delayed on the downswing, so we can feel the arms, hands, then chest, then hip. Eventually, we will get that head in a much better position. It's already improving, but we're getting in a much better position as we go through. This is a great example, by the way. He cannot finish his swing on the right because his head's so stuck and his hips are so far ahead. Biomechanically, I think it's very difficult for him to finish that swing, and I think this might be a sign where that left elbow is bending to try to simulate a finish. Versus on the left, we can see the finish already allowed to happen, even though he's still keeping the head down, but doing a much, much better job. So these are the types of things we will do here at PureSmith Golf Performance to improve your game. You know, it's all about learning how to swing the golf club. That's number one. Understanding what your body needs to be doing, what it's healthy to do, what it's not healthy to do. So it's your body. That's number two. The mental approach, the psychology of the game, how our attitude is to adversity. So we have our swing, we have our body, we have our mind, the psychology. Okay, and these are really, really set up the foundation to be able to perform, the performance side of the game. You know, from a tournament to a game or a match. These are the great things we do here at PureSmith Golf Performance. Educating you, customizing your golf swing to your abilities as an athlete, and then getting all of that to perform. Hope you liked the video. Have a nice day.